In the late 80s and 90s, casual racism on the football field eventually led to racial attacks towards Aboriginal players like Chris Lewis. These problems continue to exist in our country, our culture, and sometimes we don't accept that what we do and say really is a form of racism.
Back in those days, racial vilification, gee, I don't think the two words had ever been used together. So we went and gave it to Chris Lewis. And I reckon that boiled over.
Oh, look, it cut pretty deep. Yeah. Like I said, I was only a young boy trying to go out and do what I did best, and I'd never really experienced any of that sort of stuff until I played AFL.
Oh, well, I reckon casual racism is probably like racism that comes up, almost like in conversation, like, in running jokes. I don't know, what do you recommend?
It has to be a fine line to what you can and can't bring up.
But in saying that, yeah, sometimes where the joke probably can't be taken, it's probably you have taken it too far in some situations, and you got to probably have a mate there that says, hey, hold up a bit, and probably got to listen to him, I think.
Well, for example, I've seen some casual racism in the playground a lot. Mainly not really what it looks like, what it feels like too. You can feel it. Kids in the playground calling other kids names, racial slurs. Well, in sport a lot, I've heard kids saying that kid is fast because he's black. Kids walking around in the playground with racial music, with a lot of the N-word in it and stuff, because it might be offensive to other people. Because it's public, like, it's not supposed to, well, I think it's not supposed to be played out, like, loud. Other people are going to get offended. It makes me feel kind of offended too. Like, yeah, just because, I'm not the N-word, but I also have background from...
Chris Lewis's greatest strength was his ability to cope with that type of pressure, which was the norm in those days.
Absolutely disgraceful. I don't think eras have anything to do with it.
Black Sea and all this sort of stuff. The crowd were quite vocal in that sort of area, which was always a bit upsetting.
Only now in this day and age do we understand what we've done. I've apologised to Chris Lewis since. Pretty dark sort of memory of it, and something that I'm not proud of.
He kicks it down towards full forward. Mike Pike!
About to say, kicked at the best contested mark in the game.
But the victory was overshadowed by an alleged racist taunt involving Goods in the dying minutes. The incident seeing one Collingwood supporter thrown out by MCG security. Jamie Mitchell, Sky News Sport.
A year ago, I took a stand against racism. When you see or hear something racist, it's hard to know what to do, but you can always do something. If it feels safe, you can speak up, or you can report it to someone who can help. But if you say nothing or do nothing, nothing changes. So take a stand.
Racism, it starts with me.
News today that Sydney Swans star Adam Goodes is considering retiring from the AFL.
The playing future of AFL star Adam Goodes is in doubt this morning. Goodes has taken some time off after West Coast supporters abused him.
The Fairfax papers report the dual Brownlow medalist is now considering immediate retirement because the booing is impacting on teammates.
There's still a great level of resentment for what he did here at the MCG a couple of years ago when he called out that 13-year-old girl.
For racially abusing him. Yeah, that's racial. Alan Jones.
They're booing Adam Goodes because they don't like him and they don't like his behaviour. They don't like the spear throwing and the running in and doing a war dance.
That's racial. Steve Price?
Yeah, I think nobody's booing it is racially motivated.
No. Why do you think they're booing? I think people are booing him because he has decided to parade his Indigenous credentials strongly.
That's specifically racial. Alan Jones, do you want to have another go?
I mean, this is typical Adam Goodes. He's always the victim. Does Adam Goodes ever look into the mirror and ask himself why?
Yeah, Alan, I reckon he looks in the mirror and he knows exactly why.
Where to?
He's first.
Oh, it's okay. Take you.
No, it's not okay. He was next.